Hey y'all! Thank you for joining me today. We are going to be reviewing the BET Presents The Encore, Season 1, Episode number 4. Before we start, just want to welcome all the newcomers who have come to my channel today. If you're coming back, please make sure you hit that like button, also subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notifications whenever I drop a new video. We start back at the dinner table with Aubrey, Pam, and Shamari. And I think Keely is like off in the background, but they're talking about what has happened, the blow up that just happened. And Aubrey feels that the experiment is failing. Now, Shamari says in her confessional that, this should be about woman empowerment. And she's ready to work. And she asks the ladies, are you guys ready to work? Because I'm ready to work. And I agree with Shamari. Shamari is not really in with the drama, but she is there to work. Now, Aubrey is starting to give up on being queen. I guess she thought this was just going to be easy because they liked her vision board. So now she felt that it was going to be a shoo-in, that they were just going to fall in line and do what she says. Not exactly. So then they pan over to the twins, Fallon and Felicia. They're in the pool, and guess what, guys? They're feeling unappreciated. That's right. Feeling unappreciated. And talking about the ladies and that Aubrey is, playing them and they don't like to be played. And, start dropping shade towards Aubrey, saying that, she needs some vocal training too. They also think that Misha, her feelings is more so that she is feeling intimidated by the twins and maybe even intimidated by the rest of the ladies. I don't know, but the editing for this episode seemed to be kind of all over the place, or it was just really heavy editing. So they pan over to a scene with, then all of a sudden, Aubrey and Elijah in Aubrey and Keely's room. Mind you, that room is just so nasty. I don't know how these girls are moving, but in that room, things were just all over the place, over the floor, over the beds. Not cute at all. And Elijah is there sitting on Keely's bed. Like, you're sitting on someone's bed in your outside clothes. We don't do that around here. Like, did you ask? Anywho, they are basically talking about what's going on in the house. Aubrey is complaining to him about how the ladies don't listen, how, they can't agree on anything. And then she kind of throws the twins under the bus by saying how the twins, she doesn't know who she should listen to in terms of producing and songwriting, etc. Because Elijah was just like, well, don't you trust me? And Aubrey's just like, well, I don't know, who I should listen to because, according to Fallon and Felicia, they say that, when Elijah comes, he knows, who the boss is. He knows that when we're around, we're really the ones in control type of a thing. And Elijah was taken aback. And Elijah just got caught in with all the drama. And he basically reacted, I guess, the way that Aubrey wanted him to react, and kind of threw shade back at the twins, saying, well, they're the least accomplished in this house. As they were continuing talking, then we see all of a sudden Irish comes in and basically to, I guess, suck up to Aubrey, because when did they become such BFFs? We haven't seen any of that to really see how all of a sudden how they're so close and saying, oh, I love you. Oh, I love you. Oh, you're my twin. No, she's not your twin. Irish, you're just being used. Anyhow, now we get to the next day and the ladies are in the kitchen talking, and we see Keely talking to, I think it's Felicia, about Aubrey and how Aubrey contacted her before they even came to the house and said, oh, basically kissing up to her, trying to, make friends, even though she hasn't heard from Aubrey in years. Anyhow, Aubrey comes bolting around the corner and lays into Keely's ass about stop, really telling her to stop talking about her and that she's an F and B, and that she's not doing anything, that she's basically doing her job for her and stop going back behind her back and talking crap. Keely just sits there and is like, a smile on her face and doesn't say anything. Like, Keely has all this talk in her confessionals behind people's back, but she can never say things to their faces. Like, she's not very confrontational. Sorry. She just throws a rock and basically hides her hands. So it was interesting to see. And meanwhile, as Aubrey is tearing into Keely, we see a confessional from Shamari saying that Aubrey has no control. She's not acting very queen-like. The way she's acting isn't bringing order to the house. And as a queen, you should be able to bring order. Now, in this scene, my girl Nivea, she nails it every time. She brings that comedic relief. And it was just her laugh that got me going. Like, I feel like Nivea.
Girl.
We're back with Sita. Sita calls the girls into the room and basically tells them that, hey, they need to get their shit together. Is really what she tells them, because they need to be able to agree upon things. If they can't agree upon things, then the queen has a final say if they can't come to an agreement. Then Aubrey kind of smirks and looks back at everybody just like, yeah, you guys need to listen to me. Anyhow, Sita also tells them they need to come up with a name for the group. And that's their task going forwards. Now we go to Fallon and Felicia. They decide that they want to apologize to Misha. So they go to Misha's room. Misha lets them in and, they have their talk. Misha accepts their apology. I think that really Misha just wants to be accepted. Wants to be accepted by the group, especially by Fallon and Felicia. Now, they told her that they didn't really mean to make her feel that she was left out, tell her, basically boosted her up, telling her that, you're very talented, and they just want to be able to, find, I guess, where her voice fits in. And she felt like, Misha said that she felt like she was missing out, but she was happy to be able to get to work with the twins. So now everything is all right with them. Hopefully it can stay that way. Now we see Pam going down into the studio to, take some time out to work on some music. And then Felicia also comes down, to help her out with the music side of things, to work on the melodies and, adds the piano onto the track. And Felicia, likes how it sounds so far in terms of the song. So they're there working, writing, and doing the music. Now everybody starts trickling down, except for Aubrey. She comes down, I think, a little bit later. And then everybody starts singing or going, starts recording their vocals, which was nice to see. Now, Misha was a whole struggle bus with her vocals, but she was still trying. At least Fallon and Felicia didn't really shade her this time. They just said, at least she's trying, and that's all that they wanted to see. Now, when Aubrey is there, Aubrey's just like sitting there looking very bored. Everybody's, all emotional. And Aubrey is more worried about herself and saying that, this is not the type of music that she really wants to do. Her fans don't really vibe to this music. And she's bored. Anyhow, Pam breaks down and starts to, cry when she was talking about her. She's gone through a lot to get to this point. And, as she was going through things, she would ask, God, why? Like, God loved her through it all. And she's very, very emotional. And, everybody starts, tearing up a bit. And as this was happening, Keely she kind of like reached over to touch Pam and then catches herself and pulls back because then she remembered Pam doesn't want to be touched. It was so hilarious. I guess it's later that day. We then see Keely meeting with the choreographer. I think her name is Aaliyah. Now they were just trying to, I guess, figure out where they're at because she wants to start working on choreographing dance moves for the songs that they've done. As you know, Keely sat down and started talking to Aaliyah. Mid sentence, Aubrey barges in and basically takes over the meeting and interrupts Keely mid sentence to show her board to Aaliyah. And Aaliyah was just like, oh my gosh, this is great. Now, as Aubrey was going through the list of the songs, who's doing what or whatever, and the song Skeletons comes up, and Aubrey basically said, okay, it's Fallon, Felicia, and me on this track. And Keely pipes up and says to Aubrey, hey, babe, the other girls, some of the other girls wants to be on Skeletons as well. And Aubrey basically says, no, we're leaving it as it is. So the rest of the girls come into the room, and Aaliyah really wanted to know what they wanted to work on first. So they chose Skeletons. Now Shamari jumps up and she was just like, I actually want to be on that track. I want to be on the track that I'm doing with, Misha and Irish and Pam, but I also want to be on this track as well. Well, Aubrey wasn't too happy about it. And Aubrey was trying to tell her no. And then she was trying to make it seem like, oh, I don't want to make the other girls feel away. And Shamar was basically asking everybody, do you guys feel away if I'm on this track? Anybody? And nobody felt any ways about Shamari also being on Skeletons. Aubrey was quite upset about that. But just said, okay, yeah, you can be on the song, whatever. Now, at this point, they decide to kind of separate. So, Fallon, Felicia, Shamari, and Aubrey were going to be doing the choreographed dance routine that Aaliyah is going to be working on with them for Skeletons. And the rest of the girls are going to be down in the studio to finish the recording or laying the background vocals for, I think Pam's song is called Only God Knows, just so that to keep everybody productive and keep things rolling, which wasn't a bad idea. So Aubrey kind of excuses herself so that she can go change, but she never comes back to do the dance routine. And the girls were just like, where is Aubrey? Like, why isn't she here? She needs to be able to do these dance steps. Like every time they're looking for Aubrey, Aubrey's basically checked out. Now, at this point, I think she decides to act like a spoiled brat. Just because you're not getting necessarily what you want, now it's like a problem, and now you don't want to do things for the group. But before, you were basically set out to be the creative director, and I think you only did that to get at Keely, which was correct. But at least you had put in that effort. You were showing the group that, yeah, I am here to help out, but now you're showing a different side of yourself. To be honest, I don't think I really like Aubrey that much. Now, before they start, Felicia was saying to Shamari that, I'm happy that you spoke up and, didn't let Aubrey push you out of the song. And she said, I was going to say, who died and made her queen? And then realized, you know what? Yeah, we did. The other girls just continue doing the choreography without Aubrey being present. And as I said, the rest are finishing the spiritual song. Now, at one moment we see, I guess, Aubrey and Pam. I'm not too sure where they were. I think they might have been in the workout room. And Aubrey basically tells Pam that she's not going back to rehearse. And Pam was just like, I don't know where her head is at, but okay. Now, we then see Nivea is peen deprived, as they were talking about this pipe, which is really a pot filler. Like it fills up the pot with hot water, more likely for people who are cooking pasta and stuff like that. That's what it was there for. So they're all wondering at this point where their queen is. And then they pan to Aubrey knocked out on her bed, snoring. All they want is at least their queen to be present. If you're going to be queen, if you're going to be, saying that you're a part of the group, you're here to help, you're here to make sure that everybody gets along, then at least be present. Now we see another day where Cinnamon comes to the studio to see what the girls are working on. Like, Cinnamon, where were you all this time? You would think that the vocal coach would be coming in, if not every day, every other day, to work with the ladies. Anyhow, Elijah and Cosign are also there. And they play Pam's song as well as Skeletons. Now, Cinnamon really likes Pam's song. She says it's fire. And when they play Skeleton for her, she was just like, who is that? Like, who's on this track? And then they tell her. And she was saying Aubrey's part, it's a really nice song, but Aubrey's part, she's off in her timing. And said that, she should actually be replaced. And they tell Shamari that, you know what, you should replace Aubrey on the part. Now, Shamari, I can understand. She feels kind of bad. She doesn't want to be that person to have to kick someone off of the song. And she knows that Aubrey is going to be pissed when she finds out. Sorry. She knows that Aubrey is going to be pissed when she finds out. I believe it's later on that evening, we then see Aubrey come downstairs. She's makeup done to a T, dressed up, just to tell the girls in the kitchen that they're going to be having a party at Queen's Mandate. There's going to be a party. However, she might not be in attendance because she's having a little stomach ache. She's not feeling very well. Okay. And that Irish is actually going to be the standing-in queen. Interesting. So when she said that she might not make it, I just knew she wasn't going to show up at this party. So basically, this party is just for them to have fun and to get to know each other a little bit more. So we see the questions, they ask, who's your celebrity crush? What was one of your most embarrassing moments? And then they ask, the next question that they show is, who should be replaced? And I think it was Fallon who said, I know who should be replaced. And she said, it should be our queen, because she's been, MIA. Anytime they need her, she's never around, and she's basically checked out. So nobody's really liking how Aubrey has been behaving the last few days, except for Irish, because all of a sudden her and Irish are Bati and Bench. We don't know where that comes from, but Irish basically says in her confessional that, hey, Keely is just trying to get everybody to hate Aubrey. Meanwhile, Keely's in her confessionals. It's like, you know what? The girls are going to see who Aubrey really is. And it's just going to fall into place for her. And she's hoping that the girls will see that they should make her queen. I think that the ladies, if they're going to choose another queen, it should be either, I would say maybe most likely Shamari or Felicia. If there's going to be one of the twins, it should be Felicia. But I think more so that they should choose Shamari as the next queen. Anyhow, the party's over and they show the ladies in the kitchen, and they're all just having a discussion. And meanwhile they're doing that, they show Aubrey upstairs in her room, not sleeping, mind you, but on her phone, FaceTiming with her friend, complaining about the girls, complaining how she hates it in the house now. They're not listening. They don't know how to dance, and she wants to be in a group with dancers, all kind of things, right? And I think this is where we might see the departure of Aubrey. Next episode, it looks like she might be gone. Well, we'll see. They go back to the kitchen, and the ladies are just, talking and seeing what's the name that they should choose for the group. trying to choose a name. And it seems like they have settled on the Blueprint. Uh, it's an okay name, I guess. We'll see if that's something that they stick with. Uh, I'm kind of with Keely on the fact that the name really doesn't matter that much because as long as you have some hit songs, people will overlook your name. Your name isn't really that important. It used to be back in the day, but now not so much. Anyhow, that is it. Hopefully things get even more spicier. Todd Tucker and of course Carlos King is doing a great job with this show. This is one show on BET that I'm always tuned in for. I don't really watch too much BET, but for this show, definitely. Every week I'm watching. Now, please make sure you tune into my next videos. Please hit that like button, subscribe, as I said before, and hit that notification bell so you can get my next videos. That's it for today. Thank you for watching my video. See you next time.
Girl.